This is Karin Monster with Highly Sensitive Parents, and today I want to talk to you about the difference between a burnout and a depression and why it is important to make that distinction. I hope you can read my drawings. I'm not very good with all the technical programs, and I just wanted to make a quick video for you guys so that you can follow my thoughts and why I asked that question last week in the group. Many of you actually responded with that you have had a burnout or a depression or even both, and so thank you for that. So for really acknowledging for me that this is something that you would need some help with. And because really, as a highly sensitive person, we are very burnout and depression prone. First, we are talking about your sensitivity to almost everything, from your physical environment to your inner world. Then you have everything interpersonal, which is just we are very aware of, how well we're tuned into other people. And so we've all this awareness and intensity can really wear us out. Now, if you add also your intuition, your insight, your creativity, and maybe even some intellectual giftedness, and you have the recipe for keeping your psyche, your mind, and your body in a heightened state of alertness and readiness all the time. So it's really not surprising at all. And if you also have a burnout personality as well, there are also a few more factors to that. And that would be that you would be perfectionistic, idealistic, and you have extremely high standards and expectations of yourself and others. So those are just a few, but that can put you at particular risk of burning out. Okay, first, let's just see how the cycle would be, the process of achievement and goals and values would go in a normal situation that would not lead to burnout. So we have the first phase, and that is amazement. And amazement is an exploratory emotion. It's that first, oh, look at that. Maybe I could do that. That's interesting. Then we go into a cognitive and manipulative grip. We go and we research, is that something that I could do? And we get into action. And when we get into action, enthusiasm also comes along. And that is an activating emotion. So we're researching, we're looking into things, and we get really enthusiastic about what we're going to do. And then we go and we start to make an effort. An effort costs energy. So you would see a minus sign there. And the amount of energy it costs you will depend on your behavior and your process repertoire. So that means that if it's something that you've never done before, or that is a set of skills that is not building to something that you've already done in the past, or it's not something that it's just so out of your comfort zone that you just don't know how to deal with that, it would cost a lot more energy. But if it's something that is really just like, okay, it's just the next step in my development, then it probably wouldn't cost a lot of energy, but it would still be a little bit depleting at this stage. Then we go into the achievement of the goal. So we put in our effort, we've done our best, and we achieve our goal. And usually, if it's a good goal, it would be a gratification of a value that we've put in place in our life that we really would like to see fulfilled. And this achievement of this goal gratifies our value, and it gives us joy. And joy would be a plus, and it actually would neutralize that the fact that it costs us energy, and so it gives us energy and neutralize this one, and we're back in balance, and then we can relax. It gives us some peace and some inner space. And that inner space is necessary again when we go back in this cycle of learning. But when this cycle is not going the way we want, and between effort and achievement of goal, there is a disruption and we're doing too much and it's not getting us anywhere, then we go into this boundary and we go into overload. And overload is usually too much stress, which will give us mental, emotional, and physical distress, and will cause us to just completely be so tired we don't know what to do anymore. And there it splits into burnout and depression and the difference between the two. So then we see here, we see burnout. Burnout has two characteristics, two main characteristics to really make the distinction. Burnout has the characteristic of saturation. And when you're saturated, you've been exposed for too long to a monotone stimuli. So if I've been running all day, then I would be saturated. I would it's just too much. And one of the characteristics of saturation is that it just restores through time. So if I go lie down and if I take a few days rest, then I'm back in the game. Another characteristic of burnout is exhaustion. It's mental and physical exhaustion. So we're not talking about emotional exhaustion here. We're talking about mentally and physically. I mean, I've been doing this for so long and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just mentally exhausted. And because of that, my body's just also reacting to it and I'm physically exhausted. So this the most people that get burned out completely usually have a have to personality. I have to do this. I have to finish. I have to make sure this is done. I have to take care of the kids. I have to go take care of my mother today. I have to. They're usually very high temperament. They're very aware of everything that has to be done all the time, and they just can't switch into another mode. So they feel very strained, and they're usually very agitated about it. So, burnout. And the treatment for that would be to just train the person to think differently. Just go from have to should, and maybe, then go to I would, I want to, or maybe not today, tomorrow. So, burnout. Then we go into depression, and depression is actually so much more interesting to me and to my clients, because there have been a few moments in my life that I thought that I was in a burnout, but I was actually depressed. And in our personal environment as well, people are, they crash and they're home, and people are saying, well, it's a burnout, and because it's work related, and if it's work related, we usually just say it's a burnout. But this is the clue. Let's see. Depression. The characteristics is also saturation. So you've also been exposed to a monotone stimuli for too long, and you're also tired, huh? I mean, you're also in that physically you're very tired. We already established it there, huh? But it's usually also very emotional and mental as well. And the second characteristic is extinction. And extinction is I don't have the strength and energy to invest anymore emotionally. So hear me well. I don't have the strength and energy to invest anymore emotionally. And you feel hollow. So your mind and soul hurt. There's an inner void. And you hear people say, it's like I'm empty inside. I'm just empty. So this inner void hurts. And this is the pain point. This pain point here has everything to do with the gratification of value there. So, these are usually people that they're like, I want to do this. I want this relationship to work. I want to really have a job that fulfills me. So it's usually, I see this a lot because it's people that are trying to find out what they really want in life, and they get there and they're in a job that they don't like that really depletes them. Then they go home and they say, well, I'm in a burnout because it's not the job for me. But it's actually a depression because they really want to. They want to make a difference. They want to do things differently. They want their lives to be differently. They want to really get those values fulfilled that are not being fulfilled at their current job. So that is not a characteristic of burnout. But we see this a lot, that a lot of people come with a burnout, but there's actually, they just have to really redefine their values and define their values and redefine their goals. So I want to so badly, but I'm not achieving it. So you would see that the cause of this pain is this misalignment between investment and result in fulfilling and gratifying their values. So this is a misalignment between investment and result in gratifying their values. They're just not getting what they really want. Not so much what they have to do. So if you're doing the job of your dreams, but you're just doing too much, you're in a burnout. You need boundaries. You need to really go from have to I want to. But if you're not in the job of your dreams and you're feeling a total overload, and you just really have to look, could I do things differently, or how can I create the job of my dreams so that my values are gratified, so that I get what I need in life. So the treatment for depression, when we're talking about this type of depression usually, is first is just to really stop the unprofitable way of life. So it's not working for you. You have to step out, get out. Then you have to restore the broken balance. So that would mean also time, so some physical healing. And then you have to bring awareness of what happened. What happened? What was I looking for? Why did I miss? How did this happen? How can I make sure that it won't happen again? And then you go to reduce the focus up on the non-achievable goal. So we really have to step out of that, because if you don't reduce your focus on that non-achievable goal, it feeds the depression. Because you just stay in that same thought in your mind that this is what you wanted. But if it's so, just and that you failed at it, and then it would just feed your depression. And then the step after that is to direct you into a new achievable goal that is in alignment with your values. what I see is when people are really struggling with this, is that as soon, look, if you're really in a burnout, you're really exhausted, then if I go and go for new achievable goals in alignment with your values, you're still exhausted. But what I've really noticed is that the moment that it's a depression, because what they've been doing is not in alignment with their values, that as soon as they get directed into the new achievable goal, that they're not exhausted anymore. They're filled with energy again. They know what they want, and they just go, oh, that's just it. That's what I want. That's what I need. And then their energy starts to flow again, and we can go back into this beautiful cycle that works, and we go ahead and then we fill in this cycle again and again until it becomes a part of your behavior and process repertoire, so it doesn't cost that much energy anymore, and then you get to achieve your goals and you get to joy and relaxation again and again and again. So I hope that was clear for you guys. Please let me know what you think about this cycle and about this process and how I explained it to you. And if you need help in any part of this whole process, this is actually what I do. This is actually what I love to do. And I love to explore things with you and how to maintain high levels of energy in this cycle. And please let me know if we could work together in achieving this cycle for you. And I invite you to set up a call with me by sending me an email at info@highlysensitiveparents.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Bye for now.